Hello and welcome to Moto Monday, whichever way you like to go about it. I think it's going to be fun. Anyways, welcome. So, this is a new series I'm doing. I think it's going to be pretty damn awesome because it involves a lot of engines and a whole lot of things to build. And over the weekend, I have completed an engine myself with a very, very special mentor to me, a guy who's been teaching me how to do, well, everything I like to do with engines. Building them, modifying them, making them fast, all the nifty, neat tricks that come with the trade. So yeah, I've been a little bit busy outside of YouTube. Also the reason why I didn't stream on Saturday, Sunday, don't really stream at that particular time. So yeah, well, today is going to be very, very simple. I see we have a emission regulation here, so that's interesting. I don't know if that's always been there, but yeah, I think it'll be fine. Today's goal is pretty much just going to be building a whole bunch of engines. I think that's going to be today's plan. So, I've not done a boxer 4-cylinder in a while. I figured today might as well do one. Inspired by the legendary VW Beetle engine, the 1.6 liter engine or 1600 engine, I think I'm gonna do something similar, but with my own bore sizes and all that. Because to me, I like building them separately from everything else. So yeah, let's see. There's 88mm bore and 66mm stroke. Pretty good. I think I'm going to do a pushrod engine. Yeah, that looks good. Probably going to do carburetors as well. I have some experience with them now, so that's pretty awesome. Let's do... I want light components in this engine, because it needs to be able to freaking rev to the moon. Let's do forged light. Of course, we're doing a harmonic dampener, just to keep things, well, semi-modern, although they have been existing for a very long time. But anyway, no turbochargers, none of that. Single barrel, twins. Let's see. Pretty interested to see if they're gonna do what I think the type of manifold they're gonna do, but yeah. Let's do regular 91 with a mid-performance manifold. So that's not too terrible. I think I'm gonna change it up though. Yeah, just the way the guys used to do it, or even the 4-barrel as well. The two 4-barrels, those things produce way too much fuel for this engine. That's probably like a Holly, I'd say a 450, given it only has one side pumping. It's a single-sided ball. There's all your connections for them. There we go. Yep, as I thought. That's pretty cool. But anyway, I am going to continue building these. See if I do that. Mid performance. How it does the okay, more like the actual Beetle manifolds. Well, similar. It's not really as close as it can be, but I'm going to do a high performance manifold. And this engine is going to get an exhaust, because I think using it in a chassis might be on its cards. I don't know. Depending on which way we go with it in terms of horsepower and also torque and all that stuff. I don't know. This thing revs unrealistically high for a Beetle, as far as I know. Can be wrong, but feel free to let me know down below. So yeah, pretty fun. What I love about Beetle engines is they're incredibly simple engines to build and to take apart, but modifying them, making them a lot more hopped up, so to speak, is a little bit of a process. I myself have never worked on a Beetle engine per se before. So, and I'm always keen to learn. So that's something I will be doing, well, hopefully soon. So yeah. Maybe I'll buy a Beetle and I'll document the process of building the engine in it. I don't know. We'll see. I think they're cool. And I can already see myself with one of these. Although this one is not air cooled, unfortunately. But yeah, pretty good stuff. I like this engine and it looks cool. I'm not gonna hop it up too much. It's already costing an astronomical amount of money. But yeah, for now it's pretty cool. So I think might just change the jetting in the carb. If we put on a twin carbs, again, no, too much fuel. Okay. I think I'm gonna probably don't want to mix. I don't want to lean it too far out. I do still want the power aspect of it, but yeah, pretty good. If I change the fuel, okay, this is a special carburetor as well, because not all carburetors can handle E85. Hello, Calais. What's it? Kalle. Hi. How's it going? I'm just currently building a variation of a Beetle engine per se, with modern components to some degree. Still using a carburetor, but I'm using a 4-barrel carburetor, so yeah. Also just switch it to 80, I think I'm gonna do E85, let's see how it looks on a power graph. This is a non-turbo unit, so yeah. Can't go too far with this thing, so. Probably gonna make it quite peppy. Don't wanna do it too far, but yeah. Let's see. Just gonna see how this thing sounds before I mess with it even further. I think it sounds pretty cool. Now I wonder if I should build another variation of this thing, but slap turbos on it. It's 1600 cc's at this big, so that's not too terrible. So I'm just gonna take this and just, well, build another one. But this time with turbos and all the crazy stuff. Turbocharger, smart. I'm surprised the carburetor can handle it. Because not all carburetors can handle this kind of craziness. Wonder if this is coil and plug ignition. No, it's still a dizzy. With a vacuum advance. I've messed with that. I've messed with those way too many times now. Still surprised me that coil can put out some serious voltage. But yeah, no, it's pretty awesome. I think I'm gonna leave it turbo, but just jack the boost up to insane numbers. Let's see how we're stressing. Yep, okay, so we're stressing our pistons quite a bit. But that's an easy fix. There we go. Quick fixed. Let's see. That all's looking good. Potential issues, probably that's going to be a first one. I'm just going to hammer the boost in and just see where it goes. I think I need to stop playing on the turbo even more. This is interesting. Why is it not wanting to play nice? Probably fuel. Yeah. Back to horsepower. Just figuring out, just quickly figuring out why it was not wanting to play nice. I am gonna change the cam profile quite a bit because a Volvo 740. That's a 2.5 liter inline 5 engine that had a modernization later on in Volvo's lineup when they were still, in my opinion, producing better cars than most of the companies out there. So yeah, I think I can. Let's quickly go check a few specs and then yeah, should be pretty good. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay, so it wasn't the inline 5 I thought it was. This is just the inline 4 and the inline 6. So I think for semi-realism I'll build the inline 6. They are pretty good vehicles though. I'm assuming you're speaking of the wagon. Just quickly gonna go get some engine specs. So the engine I'm gonna be using is the 2.3 overhead cam engine. The B23/B230, I believe it's the engine code. So it's gonna be 96 by 86. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I understand. So we're gonna be building the small inline 4 engine, not the inline 6 or inline 5, because that generation did not come out with the inline 5. The generation I believe after this one was the inline 5 engines. The engines that put, in my opinion, that made Volvo a formidable force when it came to these types of engines. So that's my opinion. Yeah, 2.5 then. 2.5, yeah, 86 more bore, 86 more stroke. Like a 4 valve. Okay, so we're going to be building the 96 by 86 variation. But I'm going to make it insane. Probably going to have to be in a neighborhood of 2000 horsepower to 3000 horsepower. And have some sort of VVTi. Could use the T3 Garrett turbocharger or Mitsubishi intercooler. Okay. Doesn't look like it used any form of VVT or VVL or CVVL. But yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Okay. Pretty cool. So. Just gonna continue building it. Turbos. A mammoth single turbo. Let's do multi-point DFI. What did they use? It's a multi-point. They used one of those. Okay. EFI, but they did not specify which style of EFI. Okay. So I'm going to do single point DFI with a single manifold. I don't think they use single. I think they may have used multi-point, but with a single intake, so to speak. Let's do it on the 85 or the E100. It's a giant intake. Raise, no. Right, so about 10 grand is our ceiling. Don't really want to push it further beyond that, but let's see. That's all good. Some issues, okay. This thing is pretty peppy actually. It's a pretty strong bottom end though. Can handle around 1100 or so newtons. That's pretty good. Let's see. A little more fuel perhaps. Okay, not that much. Not yet. Okay. Drop the compression out of it though. Some gap profile into it. Go. Why? Somewhere is a restriction. There we go. Hello, galvanized steel pipe, how are you? Currently building a variation of the Volvo 740 engine, the B23, thanks to Calais or Cali or whichever way I'd like to speak. For me, I'm a Mustang guy. Always have been, always will be. So yeah. Probably 70s, no 67. If you watch one of my other streams I did a while ago, it was in Motorsport I believe, where I bought my favorite Mustang, the Shelby. So yeah. Pretty cool. Alright. More boost, more good. Okay. That's a giant bottleneck that I found, so that's good. All good. How about you? What's your favorite car then? Or favorite engine? Cool. Yes, you, Calais or Calais, if it's something of sort. I can't. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but yeah. As for what you said, steel galvanized steel pipe. Yeah, no, you're almost there. I believe in you. You can make it. You're on the right journey, though. Let's see. $3,000 horsepower is a very, very much of a stretch. Cool. So, yes. What's up? It's only 1,000 kilowatt. It's I have no idea. The 940. Okay, that's probably the one I was thinking about. Calais or Calais or something like that. Yeah. As for what you say, galvanized steel pipe. Yeah. No, it's cool. No, it's good. Let's see. Back to engine building. Lower compression. There we go. I'm aiming for 1,200 or so kilowatt. Let's see if we can make it happen. I believe I can, but we'll see. These engines are insane. So again, thank you for the suggestion. No. Perhaps we'll build the inline 5, the engine that came right after these. I believe it was the 240 turbo. Let me just go and check that. I believe it's a 240 turbo that was the very, like, the spicy one, so to speak. I know there was an inline 5 version and an inline 4 version. I know that. 760, later years 780. Yeah, anyway, I'll check it after. Yeah, just a little horsepower bump adds all the boost in the world. Yeah, but I don't blame him though. Any Honda engine, in my opinion, is pretty good, because they're. Let me rephrase that. Most of them are very reliable, but they can still, well, do normal engine things and decide, nope, I'm from South Africa. So yeah. That's why you see on my streams and stuff, there's always SAST at South African Standard Time. Okay, yeah. We're then similar time zones then, if I understand it correctly. It's us and I think the British. Mahjongland. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's also true, mate. Yeah, that's true actually. Huh, smart observation there. There we go, I've reached my power goal to this engine. Okay, that actually explains why you like the Volvos. Not to be stereotypical, but it explains a couple of things. Okay. As I said, I'm a Ford guy. Through and through. Has been, will always be Ford. So, yeah. Isn't Volvo Scandinavian, not Swedish? I believe they're Scandinavian. Wait up. I sit with the internet in front of me. Why don't I just freaking look it up? Huh. No, Swedish. Interesting. Which one? No, Saab is the one that's Scandinavian. Huh. Yeah, it's Saab that I was thinking about. Okay, my bad. I was being dumb. Anyway. Dacia's... I'm not familiar with the Dacia brand. I'm familiar with Renault, Peugeot, Citroen. There's a whole bunch, I don't know. Yes, Swedish power, yes. As I'm on Wikipedia at the moment, so I'm just quickly scrolling through. I'm trying to find that Volvo that I like. They're insane cars though. Incredibly robust. But yeah. Peugeot 206. Yeah. Pretty good. Okay, so let's see what this thing sounds like. Yeah, I also do think it's better on Twitch. I am gonna stream on Twitch soon though. So yeah. Probably gonna stream until to about an hour or so. Hour on YouTube and about an hour and a half on Twitch. Probably gonna be playing Farming Sim though. Because yeah, I play Farming Sim on Twitch. It's pretty fun though, I must say. So, I'm going to be moving on to building an inline 5 because I like them. Opinions on inline 5, who makes the best one? My money is on the Ford Volvo mix. Engines. Because I use OBS and OBS does not like whenever I try and do both. Meaning YouTube and Twitch, so because of the stream keys and all that kind of stuff, so yeah. I'll put it to you that way. Cool. Oh, here's the Lego car. Let me just quickly switch over to the internet search engine. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, unfortunately it is it's a bit of a pain, but like most things, it just takes a little bit of time. But yeah. There's that legendary turbo inline 5. Okay, so the inline 5 I absolutely adore is the B5254 T8. Yeah, it's okay. OBS is okay if you want to like stream and stuff. Like it's fun for that. But if I'm recording videos and all that kind of stuff, then I'm going over to using the Xbox app. The Xbox built-in, well actually no, the PC but the built-in version of, if that makes sense. That records all the stuff and does all that. Okay. So enough rambling about that. I need to find said inline 5 engine, because I need to build it. Is the R version, that was the one with the inline 5. This is the diesel variant. So it is 81 by 95.5. Okay, cool. Let's quickly build that. My opinion there, when it comes to inline engines, inline 5s all day. There isn't a better sound. 95 by 8, it's not 81 by 95. Oh well, we'll see. Bore and stroke, so bore is 81, stroke is 95, okay. It's actually a weird combo then. When it comes to diesels, yeah, 1.9 TDIs, and what was the other one I loved? Yeah, the 1.9 TDI is good. It's like the base mark of all VW products, in my opinion. Which one else is there? The good ones. Oh, VW's V10 and V12 diesels. Those things are insane. So yeah. So that was a dual overhead cam 4-valve motor. Yeah. Pretty cool. Then the other one that comes from the States is your 6.7 power stroke. The 7.3 power stroke, the almighty, and then the inline 6 6BT Cummins. You know, those aren't terrible, the Audi A4s. But to me it's a bit of a dicey game, given that those 1.9 TDIs love head gaskets. I know a friend of mine has had one of those in the past, and he has pretty much done head gaskets and after that and injectors pretty often. I don't know if the block was maybe warped. I wasn't there when they had it, so I can only speculate. But for the most part, those things are pretty reliable. It's just expensive to work on, unfortunately. Ooh, compound turbos. Ooh, now that sounds like fun. It's the high pressure, low pressure, both variable. Fun. Okay, that's pretty good. No, as long, I believe if you look after it and you don't do dumb things with it, I believe they should run for a very long time. It's just like any engine, to be completely real. Any engine that is well maintained, regularly serviced, like, and not driven to the moon every day, it should last you a while. It's a mechanical thing, it will still fail, but at the end of the day, those things are reliable, for the most part. Okay, that's a bit of a problem. Let's quickly solve this issue first and that issue second. There we go. Awesome. Very recently I had the pleasure of working on a SX V6 Ford motor. It's actually the first engine I ever built with a friend of mine. And I can tell you, they're like Legos. Those SX V6s are like Legos. 60-degree V-block. Just the most badass little thing you can think of when it comes to V6 engines, in my opinion. Especially the old variety. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's actually very remarkable that you got 500k out of that thing. That's pretty good. It just shows you that those things can be reliable. But again, you have to look after them. to make sure they're serviced, make sure everything else is well done. Just because the second you don't let any of that, well, as the second you let any of that out of your sight, then it becomes a problem. That's why those engines, well, when they do go bust, they go bust very expensively. Because it is an interference engine, unfortunately. So yeah, valve to piston head gone, top of the piston, piston head, piston crown, same. But yeah, anyways, very fun. I must say this thing is coming on pretty good. Look at both those giant turbos. Spoolage, no problem. All the horsepower in the world. But anyway. Very, very fun engine. Okay, let's see if I can add some cam profile. This thing should make at least 1200 to 1500 or so kilowatt. That is the aim. Whether I reach it or not, that's to be determined. But anyway. Ah, awesome. Let's see. Add some advance.
Wake me up at 2:30.
Cool. Cool.
Hour and a half from now.
Alright. So. Okay, that is starting to become an issue, but I don't worry too much about that. Let's take a little higher. Okay, so just need to be careful of taking it past 10.5. Doesn't explode, fortunately. Replace that with boost. There we go. Those are the problems I was thinking of. It's gonna happen. Sometimes, I don't know why this game is this way, but sometimes the game freaks out whenever I go above a certain threshold of boost and also a certain threshold of timing and so on. Because I understand these things tend to break the game. So I'm going to switch fuels again. I'm going to throw it on nitro. But the very, very spicy kind. I'm going to lower the RPM though. Bring it down to semi-safe region, I would say. And then... Alright, take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Take care of both yourselves. Cheers. Have a good day, and then, yeah. I'll be probably over at twitch.tv//CuriousGamer20. In about let's see. 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. I'll be over there probably. So yeah, thanks. Thanks for watching. But for now, I'm continuing to build this engine. Because I'm having a lot of fun with it. Yeah. It goes ridiculous. It's almost already at 1500 horsepower. Oh, sorry, kilowatt. Almost 1500 kilowatt. Insanity, very much. Why? Okay. Oh, it doesn't like to talk. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Got it. Well. Shit. I think that's the bottom end pretty much tapping out. So yeah, it's pretty good. Look at the size of those freaking turbos though. Insanity. And also spools from that point on forward if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it does. It pretty much spools and just holds it. Wow. So yeah, let's see what it sounds like. I think it's gonna be insane. It's all good. I'll probably let me walk you through it quickly. So this side's your compressor map. This roughly tells you exactly the traces where the compressor is happy, so it would be in here. And when it's not happy, it's way out here, because if you look at the points, look how high the speed is versus the efficiency, and in here look at the efficiency versus the speed. So you always want to be in your green zone. If you're not inside the green zone, it's a fuck up, to put it bluntly. And over here it's pretty much your regular power graph, just displayed in a smaller box. This side your inlet temperature and your exhaust temperature, so I'm assuming the bottom is inlet and the top is exhaust, given how more splotchy the line is on the exhaust side of things versus the intake side of things. This side your regular turbo pressure, like your pretty much your boost. You can see where it starts to come in. I believe these graphs represent 2000 RPM or 2500 RPM if you look over here. So it should be around 2,500 RPM, so it probably spools around 3 to 3.5, and then probably from 5 on forward it just holds that boost steady. So that's on a low pressure side. High pressure side, we are just about to get into the positive side. Yeah, it's actually pretty simple if you look at it, but I understand for it takes a bit to get used to. So these are your more design details, so to speak. So the weight of the engine, service cost, these are all estimates, of course. Reliability and all that kind of stuff. It just explains to you what the engine is going through. Then here we have all three. There's your throttle response with the timing, your fuel, your octane, all that kind of stuff is over here. So as you see, I believe this is your throttle input, so your throttle is responding here at 5000 RPM, 25%, well 26%. So as you see it goes up, it's more linear, so it's good. When it's linear, it's good. When it's splotchy, then it's not good, because then that is what you feel when you start to accelerate. Yes, 40% you can start to see how the ignition trims itself, meaning timing trims itself backwards or forwards, because it linearly drives forward and backwards, as you can see. And then as you continue on lower, below 25% at 10,000, your timing is ridiculous, because you don't really drive it at that level, so to speak. When you're driving it, you're over here. Most of the time, when you're flat out, you're way over here, so there's not really that much timing advance, so to speak, into the engine. It's somewhat linear, so to speak, if I can put it to you that way. Most of the time, if I would say you would drive an engine around, I would say around 42% of the time, depending on the person that's driving, and also the throttle response that the engine has. Because remember, when an engine has good throttle response, you don't really want to whack it all the time, because then it's going to accelerate and make the vehicle buck and do all that kind of stuff. So in this engine, because it has ITBs, that's why it behaves the way it does. As you can see here at 40% throttle, around 5000 RPM, and 42% throttle, but you know what I mean. You can start to understand that there's not really that much advance. So on that carb engine, in the beginning of the stream, that carb engine I looked at, it had a vacuum advance. So it uses vacuum pressure. I believe it is from the carburetor, and it sucks the. There's a small like advance puck on the distributor. It vacuum advances your timing, so to speak. So it can pull it wide open. That's why the engine revs higher, without even whacking the throttle. It's just on pure vacuum. I've seen it firsthand, so yeah. But anyway, this thing, because it has ITBs, it's going to be peppy, so it's going to be more responsive, so to speak. Given the size turbos and stuff, it's going to have some lag, because as you can see on the horsepower graph here, it starts to get in. That gradual rise is the boost coming in. That's why it holds steady. Semi-steady. It always climbs, but then it plateaus here, as you can see. So yeah, just a little bit of knowledge, food for thought, so to speak. Then we get to efficiency graphs. This engine is very, 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 very much not efficient because look at how the graph is set up. So yeah, they can see how it works. That is how the butter is put on the bread. Also, you can see here's where your throttle response comes in and where it's happy. So if you're gonna drive this thing, you're probably gonna drive in that area. That's a pretty happy area to live in, not too high RPM, also not too high. So yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. In the compressor map, as I said, there's also surge stress. It's how much stress is put on the actual compressor wheel. That with the way that the engine is set up, and I believe the surge stress goes from the front housing. It basically stretches the front housing, the blades on the turbocharger, the impeller. So yeah. It's how much stress is I can't really explain it, but it's how much stress is put on the front side of the turbo, the turbine side, the compressor side. Anyway, that's the low side. High side, we are well good. And in reliability, yeah, we're broken there. So anyway, I'm keen to listen what this thing sounds like. Let's go. There we go. It sounds freaking awesome. Also, another quick thing I wanted to add with the efficiency of an engine. So we can start with another engine, so to speak. Let's grab another one. Let's do that. So let's say I'm wanting to build a pretty nasty V12, right? Let's leave it at 6 liters. It's a square engine. Let's make it a 4-valve head. So, the reason why I use the aluminum race head, so to speak, is because of the ports. When you look at any engine, you look at your valve train. The very first thing I do whenever I disassemble an engine, the very first thing I do, I always look at the valve train. So when I pull the heads, I always check, okay, is there any premature lobe wear, is there any premature valve wear, is there any seat wear, any sort of thing like that. That's just roughly what I do. It's what I was taught to do. So, the very next thing I do, just remove, the very next thing I do is check all the cylinder bores. I check them just the way I was taught to do it. It's quite fun. Anyway, as I was busy saying, so now we have a very, very efficient, let's say we have a standard efficiency head. Let's say we make it a very light rotating assembly, something like a forged light rotating assembly. Which one's lighter? This one's lighter. Okay. Let's just do, alright, welcome back. Let's say we do low friction cast pistons, right? The quality slider is what's gonna make a very big difference, but we'll get to those. Naturally aspirated, that normal thing. So, let's say we do per cylinder in this one again. ITBs. They sound freaking awesome. Also, the fuel is a big component of the amount of horsepower an engine can make. Also, how fast you evacuate those exhaust gases out of that said engine. That's pretty much airflow in, airflow out. The best way to think of it, an engine is basically a big air pump, if you want to think about it that way. So, we're making 441 horsepower and 692 kilowatt and 694 newtons. Just watch the quality slider effects alone. See how much of a difference quality parts make to an engine's performance. Not only reliability, but also horsepower output. So because this thing is an all light engine, we can rev this thing to 12 grand without an issue. We're just going to have to put a very, very aggressive cam in it to make sure we can rev to 12 grand. Yes, exactly. So the ITBs to me, let me show you the difference. The quality slider just determines the quality of the part, so to speak. So the smoother you make that the runner inwards towards the inlet of the head, towards your valve joint, so to speak. Let me just remove the valve version also. Yeah, okay, we'll leave it like that. So the faster you get air into this duct, so to speak, your air inlet where your throttle is, so to speak, goes into that, goes into the head, and then, well, goes to the combustion chamber. So the faster you get your air from here, from your outside of your throat, so to speak, of your venturi, the faster you get it in here towards in this area where your inlet manifold is towards your exhaust. The faster you get it in here, the more you get in there before the valve closes. It's duration on the cam. The further the duration on the camshaft is, the wider the valve hangs open the longer the valve hangs open in a specific set of time. Also, a fun fact, whenever you do high performance parts on an engine, I say high performance parts, but it's just better quality parts, so to speak. You also have to do, if you're doing high RPM stuff, the bottom end has to match the top end. So if you're doing high RPM bottom end, you're doing a high RPM head work. Stiff valve springs, good cams, long duration, etc. So let's see how this thing. Let's slap a gnarly cam in it like we have already. It's making 700 kilowatt. Pretty reliable. At 78%, so it's okay. It's very expensive, but it's okay. Also, another thing to think about is compression. So I'm going to get a little bit nerdy in the next topic because it is going to involve fuel, the type of flame out and all that kind of stuff. So every combustion fuel has a burn rate, right? And also it has the efficiency of the burn, in a sense. Let me rephrase that. The better the efficiency of the burn, the cleaner the burn is, the better horsepower you're going to be making. Let me put it to you that way. So any combustion engine, especially when you're running it this way, it has to have a certain flame rate. The combustion has to be able to happen. So when you have high compression engines, you don't typically use leaded gasoline or unleaded, anything like that. You go over to ethanol blends. Why? Because it can handle the combustion pressures and also combustion. As far as I know, the combustion pressures and also your ignition has to be up to scratch for said fuel. Just what I've been told. But anyway, just in making ridiculous horsepower already for a 6-liter engine. So I'm just going to check if there's any other issues. This is the other thing. You have to always be able to see that, okay, that carburetor is not going to work on this engine. There's a lot of math behind it also, but for the most part it's pretty simple, explanatory. Today's websites, they put all the information out there for you to read and all that kind of stuff. So I highly recommend you go read about it, because it teaches you things that, well, books and things teach you more than a YouTube video does, at least in my idea. Okay, what's your idea? Okay, those are going to become an issue. What's the idea that you have galvanized steel pipe? Yeah, that's an issue. Right. Okay. 18th players. Okay, hello. Yeah. Alright, sure. Let's say we need a chassis for this engine. What chassis are we getting? So let's just firstly hear this thing sing. It's gonna be loud, so yeah. Let's see. Let's take a listen to this engine, then we'll get to that van you have idea for. It's gonna be loud though. Alright, yeah, we can put this engine in a sedan. And hello Adam. Let's go slap it in a sedan. Yeah, basically it is an F1 engine. It's not as small though, but yeah. So I think let's build the van first, and then we can do. Then we can do the V12 in a sedan. Let's see, van, body type. Nope. There we go. My favorite van to use. Alright, yeah, okay. Yeah. I also think it's gonna be a interesting interesting way to do things, so to speak. Are we going carbon fiber? Yay, nay? Okay. So majority says... Okay, majority says it's gonna be carbon fiber. Okay, is it... I'll say it's gonna be partial monocoque. Let's make it lightweight steel. Still using aluminum to some degree. No, it's not aluminum. But anyway. So we're going transverse of Mark II big block in a smart car. Okay, yeah, okay, we can do that. So I'm gonna put it in the front. So are we going McPherson strut or going double wishbone? On all the suspension components. That's what I mean. Double, okay. Yeah, alright. So there we go. So next we're probably gonna do a regular van body. I think that would be wonderful. Motorland suspension, okay. Interesting. Alright, so. Next thing, drivetrain. So it is V6, but are we going front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, 4x4 or wheel drive? Should actually create a poll in here, let me do that. YouTube. Let's quickly make a poll. Forgot how to do that. Bugger. All-wheel drive, okay, most people says all-wheel drive. Then we can do all-wheel drive. I'm gonna do all-wheel drive advance. So we are gonna build a custom engine for it. So everyone said V6, so we're gonna do V6. Okay. The engine project. V6. Let's go. Okay, so it's gonna be what, 90 degree or 60 degree? Are we doing a 60 degree V or we're doing a 90 degree V? Very important. 60, okay. Everyone in unison say 60. There we go, 60. So is it going to be a dual overhead cam engine, single overhead cam, or overhead valve? We're keeping it at 3 liters though. Everyone says 60, yeah. Dual overhead cam, alright, alright. 5 valve head then. So are we going to turbocharge it, keep it NA, or we're going to do something crazy? Okay, cool, cool, cool. Turbo, 1 turbo, okay. Supercharge, okay. I've got an idea. Both, yeah, that's the kind of thing I was expecting. So let's do both. Let's do 2 turbos and a supercharger. Bypass supercharger then. Yep. Okay. So what fuel are we gonna run it on? Are we running it on nitromethane, ethanol, or methanol? $98, $99, okay. Okay, so... Alright, so 98, okay, so let's do... Okay, so I'll compromise, let's do 100. Meth, okay. So, so unleaded, 90, let's do 100. As unleaded, it keeps things going. Yeah. So there we go. Exhaust manifold, you're going to do tubular race. No cats, none of that business. There we go. Pretty much. So there we go. This engine is already looking beautiful. What are we making power-wise? Alright, so we're making a crap load of power already. Compressor, though, is very, very, very angry. Let's fix that. With a whole bunch of boost. Okay. Alright. Power is enough. Okay. So we are agreeing we're leaving it at 481 then. Are we in agreement? Or we could push it to 500 if we just up the RPM though. Okay, so we're perfect there. Got it. I'm just gonna make it work for our engine. So. Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave it at... Let's leave it at 8 grand. That way we have a good power band and we still have a lot to play with. So I think we're in good shape there. We're just gonna take a listen to the engine and see what it sounds like. Sounds pretty wild. Okay. So next thing, what are we going? A manual, auto, dual clutch, or something of the above? DCT, okay. Advanced auto, DCT, okay, so everybody is pretty much 8 speed. Okay, so we can do an 8 speed DCT. I'm gonna make it very long gearing. So we're gonna do electronic diff. Alright, so what tires are we gonna put it on? Sport tires, race tires. Okay. So I think radio race, okay. Radio race. Okay, so we're going radio race then. Are we doing drag tires, soft, medium, hard tires? Or intermediate? Go. Alright, so we're doing soft tires then. Alright, so widest could be, biggest could be carbon fiber. Right, so what brakes are we putting it on? There's a whole bunch of brake options here. My thought is leaning towards venter discs. Carbon, venter disc, yeah, okay. Let's see, okay, so I say venter discs just because of ease of replacement and also usage. Yep, nope, so we all say pretty much semi okay with full venter discs. Alright, cool. So next we're gonna be doing internal seating. So what are we gonna do seat wise? 1 seat, 2 seat, 3 seat, 5 or 9? Two seats, okay. I'll adjust the brake bias in just a little bit. No seats in the rear, okay, 5 seats, 9 seats. Okay. So, interesting, okay. So I'm gonna put it, I think I'm leaning towards, because it's a van, you can do 2 seats, we can do 3 in the front, so it is technically a compromise, so yeah. Race interior, so what are we doing for entertainment? Three front, 3 mid, okay. We will get back to the brakes in just a moment. Premium entertainment, okay. Okay, so let's do premium. Okay, steering wise, what are we doing? Yeah, no, I'm enjoying this because I see there's a whole bunch of cool things in here. I'm enjoying seeing all of you commenting and yeah, you're giving me wonderful ideas and selecting the vehicle's fate. This is so much fun. Okay, so it's electric, rack and pinion. Okay. We can do variable hydraulic or we can do electric variable. I think electric variable will be better because it's lighter. So I'm leaning towards electric variable. Okay, suspension wise, what are we doing? Okay. Active sport, okay. Sport. Active comfort, okay. So we can do normal with a little water of a spring. So I'm saying we can do active comfort but semi-adaptive with race tuning. That's what I say. I think that's cool. Let me know. I just quickly sort out all the issues. Alright, so we need to do downforce. So what wing are we going with? This one? This one? Or this one? Which wing are we going for? This is 1, that's 2, and this is 3. One, okay, so far we have 1, okay. Small lip, okay. So we'll leave, okay, so 1. So 1 is pretty much favored, got it. So we can do 1. Make it a little bit shorter, a little bit wider. Also a little bit thicker. Something like that. Make it bigger, okay? Yeah, alright. So rear is done. So let's do front. Front is probably just going to do a lippy like this, like I always tend to do. Let's do this. There we go. A wider. A lot wider. There we go. Something like that. Agree? Alright, agree. Perfect. So lights, what are we doing light wise? We can do this one, deep circle. Or we can do these. Which way are we leaning? So the bottom one, this one's 1 and that's 2. Yeah, something like that. Okay, we're keeping both then. So just gonna make them fit a little bit better like that. Leave the other one exactly like it is. Alright. So grill wise, I think I'm gonna do something simple. What do we think? This one? Or do we think this one? Okay. 2, okay. So again, bottom one is 1, this one's 2. One but happier, okay. One, okay. So then we live on 1 then. There we go. Yeah, this thing's gotta be looking wild, but okay. Let's just move those lights more like that. It fits a little bit better. So now we just can do the lower grille in one of these fashions. Something like that. I love how dumb it is. It is a happy grille, so to speak. Alright, so next we move to the back. Lights again. Let's say we use those lights. That's 1, and these I'll put as 2. The third option I'll do more of a traditional van light, which is something like that. So 1, 2, or 3. 2, okay. So 2, right? 2 in the bottom, okay. So everybody's saying 2. Alright, we can do that. Something like that. Yeah, remove that and that. Or do we want it down here? Something like that. I think that looks okay. What do we think? Alright. So door handles, I'm just going to do something simple, just like this. Like that. Same with the passenger and the front door handle, something like that. Alright. Mirrors, just something simple. Yeah, like that. Alright, so wheels. What do we have for wheels? So we can, I'd say, where's the modern ones? Okay, well, this one I'll do as 1. This one as 2. And these ones as 3. Which way are we leaning? Two, okay, 2 and hubcap flat. Okay, hubcap flat. We can do those hubcaps, I think. What do we think? Everyone says 2 and 3, okay? I think I'm going with 2 then. That's 1. Which ones? These ones are 2. There we go. I think that looks good. Alrighty. So there is our monstrosity. Oh, we need to add an exhaust. I'll just quickly do that. Something like that. There we go. That's pretty good. I think that looks good. What do we think? There's our van. Looks pretty insane. Let's go here. Automation. Test track. Let's see if everything's looking good. Okay. Oh, we need to adjust the downforce. Okay, let me quickly go fix that. So that's what I'm quickly gonna do. Yeah, yellow, okay. Let's do enough downforce, enough cooling. Okay. Van, color. Let's do it yellow. No flake, bright yellow. Let's go test it around the test track and see if it wants to do it. So there we go. 1 minute 48 van. Oh, that was insane. I loved it. Thank you for the suggestion. But it seems we're out of time, unfortunately, for today. So tune in tomorrow roughly the same time. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. As for what I'm going to be doing now, is probably going to switch over to yeah. Yep, old crappy. Let's call it old crappy. There we go, old crappy. yeah. Alrighto. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if the best way to support the channel is heading over to patreon.com/CuriousGamer20. I know it's a shameless plug, but anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'm gonna go be streaming on Twitch now, so yeah. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your day. Bye bye.